everybody, this is Eternal Blade here, and welcome back to the Cruise Cabin texturing tutorial. So where we left off last time was with this image here. I think I actually had applied the glass material to the lamp as well. I didn't do that in the video, but I was supposed to. So still want to work on this bed texture a bit and change a few other things, but we're just going to keep plugging away. So bringing up our material editor here, let's go to our, what do we want to go to? Not wall dark, but the panel material. So this is sort of the material for these things over here. And let's make it a bit more sort of brownish, all right? Maybe kind of like that. Okay, there we go, perfect. I just want it to be a bit darker. And then let's just do this. Go into our rendering. Render setup is already over here. Just show last frame buffer. That'll bring up where we left off. And let's just go over to our panel here and give it a quick, little re-render just sort of in this area. Alright, so you can see we've got little darker shades there, and basically we're trying to, again, match this. So I think we went a bit too dark that time around, so let's back it off a bit. So come here and just sort of back down the brown, and we don't even really need that part right there, so let's just re-render this area. Right, so there we go. So you can see it's a bit darker than we had it before. It's actually fairly close. I mean, not exactly though. Maybe a little more cream color, a little more yellow perhaps. Lighten it up a bit. Let's try that and see what that does for us. Alright, so there we go. So we're sort of back where we started, a little warmer. And it just seems like they have a little more lighting on theirs, but I think diffuse is pretty good. So we're going to let that be for a while. Next, what we want to do is let's see here. We can work on the outlets, I guess. Let me just bring this off to the side. Close that over there. All right. So, so the outlets, we're going to make sort of that sort of plasticky color. So we can actually use the desktop material that we created somewhere. This is the problem. You should really organize these a little bit better than I have them. So here's the desktop material. So let's grab this, shift drag it. We're going to call this one outlet cover. Oops. Alright, we're going to grab it and just make it sort of a very light off-white. And that's actually probably just about good right there. Sort of a gray almost with a slight tint of orange, okay? That actually should be just about good. So let's go over here. And I guess we have everything. Click this, assign to selected. Now come over to our other outlets. We have one here, here, and I think here, and we'll assign to selected as well. Okay, excellent. Next, what we can do is, let's see here, we have the floor already. Looks like, let me pull up my reference image here. So it looks like we have the same sort of a plastic looking material on this wood. Looks like it's just painted sort of similar to this, but just trying to see. Looks just like a painted wood. So let's copy this over. Okay, we're going to call this kind of like like that. There we go. Nightstand. Alright, and let's give it sort of a, let's go all white. Give it a bit of an eggshell color. Okay. And our glossiness here, let's change this to maybe 0.7. Just gonna give it more of a duller look there. Alright, and I think that should be, actually let's ungroup that. And we can deselect those few pieces right there. Alright, so we got everything else still good. So now we can go here and assign to selection. Grab these three pieces, and these can be that sort of gold material we made. Let's see, was this picture? No, not that one. Where's the gold material? I thought we made another one for the handles. Here we go. This one's the gold. So we'll assign this to that piece there. Lamp, yeah. So we'll just name this gold. Alright, and this will be lampshade. Okay. So now that should be good, and we do have a little bit of interaction right here with the sheet, but you're never going to see it, so I'm not too worried about it. If you want to fix it, you can just, let's see, grab the control points here and just shrink them in, maybe just the bottom control points. There, that's close enough. It really doesn't matter, but alright, whatever, it's clean enough. Alright, and there actually is some geometry here for the lampshade, it's just not shown because of the material that we have on it. Alright, so one of the things I wanted to do was check over here at this piece. And I think it's actually sort of intersecting. So we're just gonna bring it up a little bit to make sure it's not touching that. So let's grab these, isolate selection, go to the front viewport here, and just make sure that there is indeed a gap between those and isolation mode. Okay. So now we should have this. Let's render out the little area over here. So go to our render window. Let's zoom in here. And I'm just using middle mouse button to move around this image. Alright, so there we go. So it looks a little lighter, and again, here's what we're trying to get. So I'm going to say we're doing pretty good there on color. Alright, good deal. And now what we can do, let me just take a look at this over here. So let me grab a little bit of this end and see what we have. Alright, so I have a pretty noisy image here, and I'm not sure the entire reason for that. So we're going to go here, and let's see. I don't know if that's what we wanted. Glass, let's see. Fog color, it doesn't have any fog. Where's the other glass we created? Here we go. Blue glass. Let's on the reflect and refract, let's just change these to 16 each, okay? With a max depth of 8. And we're going to try to re-render this and see what we get. Okay, so you see now we have a lot less grainy image, I guess, compared to what we had before. I want to check and make sure there's no maps or anything here. It just seems sort of gray, and we may come back to it later if it doesn't change when we fix the lighting, but seems sort of odd. It could be the ceiling too, and just the stuff around it, which affects it a lot. So we'll continue on. So next, let's work on. We can do. Actually, I guess these shelves right here are going to be the same as the nightstand material. They're that sort of peach color something. So let's go to nightstand material and assign to selection. Okay, so if we come over to our image here and we just grab some of these, actually watch out we don't get the light. That light will cause us to be rendering for forever. Alright, there we go. So we have that nice peach color, and if you're comparing to our image here, you see we have that same nice peach color. So I'm going to say that's pretty good right about there. Alright, so moving right along, let's see. We want to work on now. I actually think there might be some glass in the nightstand as well, but we'll let it be for the time being. Let's see. This piece here is actually going to be sort of the same material, sort of a light peach color. Looking up here, it's that same. But actually, let's shift drag this over. All right, let's call this vent. We're gonna assign this over here. It looks like the reflections here are a bit sharper, so we're gonna do 0.9 because they seem to be pretty sharp, sort of mirror-like. Okay, that should work nicely. Maybe something like that should do. We can change it as we go. Let's just do a quick render and see what we get of that. Alright, so you see we got some sort of strong reflections here, so we should probably just bump that up all the way to 1 and maybe make this just white, so it should be sort of a perfect mirror. Let's try to. Alright, so you see we do have a perfect mirror now, maybe like 0.95. Maybe that'll work a little better for us, because I'm looking on the actual picture here and the reflections aren't perfect. They're a little bit fuzzy. So you see now we have a little bit of fuzziness in our reflections, almost perfect. All right, and I'm gonna think we actually need to lighten this up a little bit. So let's just make it a little lighter there and give it a re-render. And there we go. That's gonna be about what we're looking for. I mean, that's almost a perfect match. The holes, well, I think we just need more resolution to see the holes is the problem. So for our final render, we'll hopefully resolve that. All right, next, let's grab our image here. So we can probably work on this back color here. So we're gonna just use this vent material to start off with. All right, we're gonna assign it to the back. There we go, perfect. Now we're gonna call this back door frame, and looks like the glossiness is pretty high, so 0.8, 0.7, 0.6 should do good, and it's gonna be probably about that color. So let's give it a quick render right there, just with the glossiness changed. Sort of do it in this area, and we'll see what we get. Oh, we also have to assign the outlet texture to that one right there. All right, so here we go, and this is what we're trying to match. So you can see that's almost spot on. Maybe a bit darker, but not much. So we'll just go a bit darker. And we'll also grab that piece right there and assign it the outlet cover material. Okay. I think we got it. Yeah, we did. Okay. So now we made it a bit darker. Let's re-render our area again and see how it goes. All right, so here's the re-rendered area, and that's almost a match right there. The curtains will make it that sort of greener color. So I'm happy with that, and I think did we ever assign the material to that thing. Yes, we did. Good. Okay. So let me just compare for a second. I love how my pictures just disappear on me. Alright, so looking at the material here, don't think it quite matches. So we're going to go to our outlet cover and lighten this way up. Maybe give it a bit of a yellow. Really, really light. Okay, let's do a quick re-render here. Alright, that's not bad. I mean, just looking at the outlet, you can see the outlet cover almost matches. Maybe a bit more. I think the wall, the back wall needs to be a bit darker is the issue. Or a bit lighter, sorry. So let's go to our wall color. Okay, and main wall, ceiling. I feel like this is our back wall. So let's just lighten that up, re-render this, and see what that does. I think we didn't actually change anything. Ceiling 3 is the ceiling. 4 is the carpets. This is definitely in the back wall. So we'll just do back wall. Okay, let's make this blue just as a test to make sure we're doing the right thing here. Interesting. That didn't change anything at all. Very odd. Hold on, what are we affecting here? Diffuse is run by noise map. Aha. That's why we're not affecting anything. So that's pretty light already. Which means it's just the color of the light that is affecting it there. So I think our lighting will need to actually drive this wall. Because I don't know what else I can do. I mean, it's already basically 100% white, and it should not be any whiter than that. Okay, we'll let that be for a while. We'll revisit it if necessary. So coming back here, this looks good to me. Okay, based on the actual image that we have. Alright, so now let's attempt, and I do say attempt, to do the curtains. So first let's look up, of course in Google, let's do some, gold tan curtains. Spelled that wrong. Curtains. Interesting. Let's look up fabric. Okay, here's some good ones. So I think we'll go with a nice sort of this one right here. This looks almost exactly what we want. I don't think it's tiling, but we can change that. So let's copy image, go over to Photoshop, File New, File New, okay. Paste that in. And what we need to do is make this tiling. So basically, how are we going to do this? Let's just deselect a whole bunch of this stuff and kill it. So we can sort of do whatever tile we want, honestly. Alright, so come in here. I think what we're trying to do is just cut out one of these shapes. And we'll see how that works. Alright, is this what I want to do? I think this is what I want to do. Alright, we'll try this. Problem is, I don't think this is exactly what I want. I want a whole shape. Okay, we'll just delete that. And escape here. Get out of this. Press any button. That's not the move button. Alright, let's go to image, adjustments, and there should be an offset somewhere here. Filter, other, offset. Let's just do 100 and 100. So we definitely don't have a tiling texture. Okay, well, we can easily find tiling textures, so I don't think it's worth our time to go do that. So, tiling, curtain texture. There we go. These are pre-made tiling textures. And this one will do, and this one will do. So let's see what looks closest to our actual image that we have. Not bad, needs a little yellow. Not a fan of that one. This one does have some strange textures on it. Let's see if we can get it. Add to cart, $6. I don't want to pay $6. I just want free textures because I'm cheap. What about this one? I mean, honestly, you won't be able to see it in the render, so. No one wants to give us free stuff. I give you guys all sorts of free stuff, but nobody else wants to do free stuff. I could go to CG Textures. Maybe we'll go there. Alright, CG Textures. I believe they have free stuff. Fabric. Alright. Let's look for something similar. Alright, so in the end I found this texture on textures.com, CG Textures. So I just logged in. They give you a free download. So this is the one we're going to use. So it's not bad. I think a little more white than what they have in the image here, but I think it should be fine. We could adjust it slightly if we wanted to. Adjustments. Curves. We could do maybe a little more. I don't like playing with these things. They are a little difficult. Actually, cancel. Let's do. We could do hue saturation. Play around with it till we get some more of a gold color, and you can sort of bring down the saturation or bring up the saturation a bit and make those pop. Okay, and then maybe let's do a new layer here, and we will make it sort of a light gold color, and we'll fill it in all the way. Go to our blending mode, and let's just scroll through some of these. That's not bad. I'm thinking multiply is what we want, and let's just darken it up a little bit. That way we kind of get the orange color fabric in there. Alright, so there we go. Now we've got our image, and I'm happy with it. So File, Save As, and we'll save this again to your project folder, which of course never shows up where I want it. Cruise cabin, textures, we'll call this curtain diffuse, an image. Let's go. I don't let you do that. Let's grab these, merge layers, image adjustments, black and white. Okay, and let's do image, brightness and contrast, and you want to bring the contrast way up. File, save as. We'll call this curtain bump. Okay. So now we've got those. Let's hop back into Max and let's see how we're going to do this. Let's just isolate these things here. Alright, so these are just straight up editable polys. So let's use the pillows. Well, we'll use the chair as our starting point. Oops. Watch out, we got a little something extra there. So I'm gonna call this curtain. Alright, and let's just change the bitmaps here. Because again, fabric is pretty standard, so we don't have to worry too much. Could have sworn curtain diffuse. I guess we did it as a Photoshop file. Oh well. And go to the bump map, and bingo. Alright, now we're gonna go to our bump map here. I think we need to invert this. Output. That way the things come out instead of going in. Alright, and then we will also bump this up to maybe 50 to give it a pretty good size bump there. Our fall off map, probably good with that. Let's just go here and let's apply it to the curtains. And we'll use this. I guess it doesn't want to show that in the viewport. Alright, so let's also apply it to these bits here. Alright, we might as well just start off with a UVW map. Try a box, and let's go to camera. End isolation mode. Let's bring up our render window over here, and let's just render a portion of it and see what we get. Alright, so that was a pretty atrocious render there. So let's we really should have done something different here, but we may have to cheat and just use a flat texture for this if we can't get it to work. But let's go here to our bitmap and tile this maybe 4x4. Go to the bump map and tile that 4x4. Okay, and go here, output, and let's make this down to 1. Okay, let's come back here and let's re-render. Alright, so it re-rendered. I just zoomed out, and then looking kind of at this, you can see it's actually not terrible. Oops, sorry about that. Man, where did this thing go? I don't even understand. My picture is not wanting to come up. There it is. So, lighting-wise, it's not bad, but these images we have here are pretty sort of out there. So I think we're going to go into Photoshop. Let's just undo back to here and images, adjustments, contrast. And we'll just sort of, yeah, they're just so there. You go to layer 0 and let's just lighten up the pattern there. And we can duplicate this layer and put it there on the bottom and give it an opacity of 100. Alright, maybe just keep bringing this down a little bit, just because we don't want the pattern to be too visible, sort of. Okay, I'm going to try that. Let's merge layers. And actually, we can just grab all these duplicate layers, okay, and merge them. Now you can turn these off, no problem. Image, adjustments, hue, saturation. Let's just maybe desaturate it a shade. Okay, file, save as. We'll just do curtain diffuse. Crap. Alright, file, save. This is why I like JPEGs, just for this purpose. So JPEG, curtain diffuse, save as. Okay. Let's go back over here to our bitmap, and we'll do curtain diffuse JPEG. Okay. And let's do a quick re-render and see what we get. Alright, so you can now see that it's much less noticeable than it was before. And looking over here, you can see it's much less, you can't see any pattern here, so I'm not sure. They used maybe a gold thread or something. But I still think it's a bit too gold for what we want, so we're just going to lighten it up a bit. So image, adjustments, brightness and contrast, we're just going to sort of brighten it up here. Okay. And save it. Okay, save as. Our curtain diffuse color. Yes, we want to replace it. Good deal. Come back over here, just reload it, and then let's re-render again. And now we should be a little closer, I'm hoping, to what it looks like. Alright, so our curtains are looking pretty good here. I mean, compared to the original, color is basically spot on. Shadows and stuff we'll have to sort of work on a bit. That's more of a lighting issue, but I think overall it's pretty good. So I'm going to say that'll be it for this part. So I will see you guys next time.